Hold it up, can't you, Grandad?
Arms are aching.
Should have thought you'd have been glad of something to do.
Pipe won't draw properly. That gives me enough to do.
It's last tank, so don't fret.
Hey, it's 10:30.
I can tell time.
They've been gone over 4 hours.
I've worked that one out and all.
Well, that we could get things ready for them coming back.
They won't be bringing Joe back tonight, that's for sure.
Well, we could put kettle on, have a cup of tea ready for them.
We don't know how long they're going to be.
Oh, well, that's better any road. Oh.
Only trouble is, leaves me with naught to do.
Aye.
They'll have to pay, that's something, I suppose.
Pay? Oh.
Wilkes. You can't go around smashing up cars, half-killing the driver without paying. I bet they can, though.
Girl's not so bad.
She's got Joe and Jack at each other's throats.
Well, she took your mum and Jack to hospital.
Aye, in their other car. What's one more car to their sort? And no more to do than sign check. It's like rubbing Aladdin's lamp. He'll have to buy us a new car. Replacement.
Well, it depends whose fault it were.
Well, it were Wilkes's fault, of course. It must have been.
Now, it'll be up to police to decide that, won't it?
Go clean spoons.
That you, Tom?
Well, who else were you expecting? Hey, I've got some news for you. Well, you might listen.
I promised Sandy I'd have this done by the weekend. She's got to have it in time for that party.
Oh, come on, 5 minutes won't harm. Well, don't you want to hear me news? It's a bit of a laugh for you.
You didn't call in the shovel tonight and you walked right past the wool pack.
Hey, if I'd called it Woolpack, I never got all details. Fairmead out here must this day. He'll be catching drinks of it for the rest of the week.
Well, go on.
There's been an accident on New Road. Car, he told Wilkes.
Wilkes?
He kept shooting out of his driving up Main Road and another car smacked right into him.
Very funny, I'm sure.
They had to carry him into ambulance. He was swearing like a trooper, threatening to sue everybody. County council, fella who did it, anybody else he could think of.
Can't have been hurt that bad, then.
The other fella copped it all right, though. He didn't say out when they brought out stretchers. He couldn't.
It's a nasty corner if you don't know it.
Oh, he knew it all right. It was sucked in. Made a right mess of him. The blood all over the place. Some folks say it very near took his head off, but you know how folks exaggerate.
It's only what you heard. Pub talk. Don't mean it's true.
Oh, accidents happened all right. And you don't come and smash like that without doing some damage.
Which Sugden was it?
Well, it couldn't have been Jack. He doesn't drive. Well, the other week he wanted to go into Connell's and he hires a car and driver to take him there. See, I got that from Nick Burry himself. Where he gets his money from, I'd like to know.
Must have been young Joe, then. Poor Joe.
Are you feeling better now, love?
I'm all right.
Oh, you look proper poorly for a minute.
The thought of blood always turns me over inside.
Or was it the thought of Jack Sugden? Would you have felt as poorly if it had been somebody else? Me, for instance.
You know I would.
I don't. Still, I don't let it worry me either. You haven't been up to see him yet, then?
Haven't had time.
No, there's no worry. I'm going up to farm myself tomorrow. To see about the job.
Hey, was that Ben?
No.
Well, it's now midnight.
It's nearer 1.
Well, midnight when I looked.
You've been snoring.
Nay.
Aye, you've been driving him home. Best get to bed. There's no point in you sitting there with your head dropping off.
Oh, but Wilkes' girl might come in. I'm not having her catch me in pyjamas.
I'll make up bed in your old room.
Nay, Jack'll need that. He'll need to catch up on his sleep.
I meant Joe's
Nay, I'm
bed.
not taking Joe's bed.
He won't be back. Not
Wait a minute,
tonight.
that's them.
How is he? I'll tell you in a bit. Is it bad?
Back, put the kettle on, love. Mum could do with a cup. Don't press her for a bit. Let her take her own time.
Come on in.
I better be getting home.
At least have a cup of tea, coffee, something.
I'll be all right, honestly. It's only a couple of minutes to the house.
Shall I come up with you?
You'll be needed here.
don't like to think of you up there all alone.
Don't worry about me, please.
Are you coming in?
I was trying to persuade her, but she says no.
You look done in.
I'll be all right in the morning. Good night.
And don't worry. Everything that can be done's being done. And he's young, he's got every chance.
I was thinking of Daddy.
What's he got to worry about?
He might lose a leg.
Will somebody tell me what's happened? They wouldn't let us see Joe. Said there was no point till he comes to his senses. I told him we'd wait, but it seems there was no sense in that either.
He may regain consciousness tonight. Maybe tomorrow.
How bad is he?
Nobody knows
They
yet.
promised to let us know as soon
How
as
can
anything
they
happens.
with no phone? We're cut off up here. How can anyone let us know anything?
We've left 2 telephone numbers. They can leave a message either at the Woolpack or Inglebrook. If Marion's in, she'll
She's a
come
good
straight.
lass. It's the least she can do, considering the Wilkses are to blame.
Jumping to conclusions won't help anybody.
Least of all tonight. All right. Let me know the rest. How bad is Joe?
A concussion's the worst. But he's broken his right arm and a couple of ribs as well.
Whatever happens, he's going to be pretty helpless for a while.
So's Wilkes. He's got a complicated fracture. Marion's driving over to see him tomorrow.
Does she know?
She knows he may never walk properly again.
Those Wilkses. We've had no but trouble since they came here. I'm not blaming us.
It's none of Marion's doing either.
She come between you and Joe, didn't
Come
she?
on, love, let's do that.
It can't be denied she's made trouble. If you ask me to...
No one is.
Come on, love.
That's still it's best, Peggy. Try and get some sleep. She's fond of Joe. Him being youngest.
That's no reason for her to blame Marion.
You best be getting to bed too.
What's to be done? That's the question.
Joe's work. That's the answer. No King's at 6. Matt'll need someone to give him a hand.
must be an easier way.
Poor tale if a man can't use his muscles that bit. Woke you up this morning?
I was awake. I couldn't sleep.
Oh, I didn't get much. Peggy would keep on about the accident. She's dead set it was Wilkes' fault. Do you reckon it was?
Let's get this done.
Jack, half a minute.
I don't want to know who's to blame. I've got my own ideas. Let's leave it.
So you reckon that too?
Reckon what?
Same as me. It was Joe's fault. If it was Joe, broken bones would be the least of his worries, right?
Had enough, Grandad?
It were a little egg.
You get pullets' eggs from pullets. They get bigger as they get older.
Not only pullets, eh?
I'm going for a walk.
It's funny how much energy you've got when it's not cold work. Has Matt got to low day on his own?
I'll be back in time to give him a hand.
Let's hope it don't wear you out. Hey, and while you're walking, happen you might think on what we're going to do without a car.
It's not Jack's fault what's happened to the car. Or Joe's.
Well, we can't do without a car. If Jack's running the farm, it's his job to supply one.
He'll do it his own good time, no doubt. Meanwhile, watch your tongue. It's not helping matters.
Horses are best. You can't beat horses.
Blackett wants to get rid of his old van. 50 quid.
Was that the old thing he brought round here?
Well, it's not much to look at, but the engine's all right.
He's carried everything in that van, from pigs
Oh,
to...
it'll clean up.
You got 50 quid, have you?
Oh, I'll have to put it to Jack, of course.
Well, you can save yourself trouble. You're supposed to be going into Bradford tomorrow for that interview at Latters. I didn't clean your suit for you to drive in Blackett's pig van.
Well, none as it matters now, because I shan't be going.
You might have waited till she hung up washing.
Well, I've got to wait till we know about Joe, haven't I?
"182? Who? Oh. I'm afraid not, Mr. Pargeter. You see, my father's in hospital. Oh, no, nothing to do with his retiring. He was in a car accident yesterday. It's his leg. We don't know yet. Well, I'll be going in to see him later this morning. Yes, I'll certainly do that. It's, Mr. Pargeter. 2 E's, 1 T. Yes. Yes, I will. Bye-bye.
I'm not hard-hearted, Mum, you know I'm not.
You don't have to tell me. As long as you can satisfy yourself.
I'm as worried about Joe as anyone. But don't you see it doesn't make any difference?
Might. To him.
Doesn't make any difference to the farm.
He earned his keep.
He's talking of leaving.
Here, put that in bucket and hand me the wet cloth.
Matt's saying he can't leave while Joe's badly is just an excuse. There'll always be an excuse. Heifer carving or short-handed at lambing. That's what I mean by it makes no difference.
He may not get the job anyway.
He's got to make the break. He's got to see that there's nought to hold him here.
He wouldn't get very far at interview if he was thinking more about Joe than about what they were asking.
Did you see the letter they wrote him? They're anxious to see him.
In that case, how can they put off the interview? A good man's worth waiting for.
Oh, they won't wait till our Joe's better.
They might, till he's out of danger.
Do you think so? Just for a day or two, a week maybe?
You can always ask. Telephone.
Aye. And Joe being away won't make any difference to farm. Jack's talking about taking on hired help. And he is beginning to put his back into it, isn't he?
You don't have to worry about Jack. He can look after himself.
Hold on a minute.
It should be a bargain at 40.
He said 50.
I know, Blackett, he'd take 40.
I am be grateful.
Well, the engine's not bad. As good as we get at that price.
We can shop around.
Of course, we might get it for note.
Well, anything's a bargain at that price, I suppose.
Well, not note exactly, but...
But what?
Well, there's that battery equipment we took out at Henhouse. He might do a swap for it. Well, it's no good to us. We're not using it. It's doing no good here.
And it's doing no harm either.
I don't understand. They wouldn't be your chickens. Blackett's running battery layers anyway. If he doesn't use that stuff, he'll use some other.
Let him.
But we need a van. At least you do. After all, I might not be around here much longer.
Matt, I'm sorry, but I don't want to know about
Mr. Sugden. Merrick. Tom Merrick. I've just heard about your troubles. It's a nasty business. I knew young Joe before, of course. Nice you mention me.
No.
Ah, well, you'd be a bit pressed without him, I suppose.
Oh, do you want to give a hand?
Oh, well, since you mention it, I was talking to old Wilkes the other night.
Oh, yes.
You mentioned I might pop up, did he?
Well, we better talk it over. Shan't be long, Matt.
Hey?
No, thanks. I'd rather he didn't near the hay, if you don't mind.
Oh, sorry. Well, I reckon we both understand the situation. I need work. You're offering it. All we need to do is agree terms, eh?
Well, it's not quite as simple as that. For instance, we need someone who could take over the milking.
Yeah, well, I'm agreeable to that.
At 6 in the morning?
Any time you say.
You had experience?
Yeah, I've turned me on to most things on a farm. I reckon you'll find me very useful to have around the place, Mr. Sugden.
What sort of wages would you expect?
That's up to you, isn't it?
£18 a week?
Nah. With a wife and 3 kids, I can get more than that on the dole.
20 then. And a rise, maybe, if you earn it.
Yeah, all right, I'm agreeable to that.
Tomorrow at 6 for the milking, then.
As you say.
Well, that didn't take long.
No. Oh, you'll find I'm a swift mover once I put my mind to it. Right, dear.
Right.
I'll see you in the morning, Matt.
He's got a point. Council were as much to blame as anybody. It were asking for trouble to widen that road there. There were never accidents before. Now it's speeding all the way. I'm not saying Joe were drunk, mind. No, he weren't drunk. But he'd had a drop, and they're hot on that when you're driving, aren't they? Now,
when
if
our
they
Joe's
test...
fit again, I'll be sending him in to see you, Amos. Happen you'll not be so free with your tongue after. Can I have change for a phone?
You'll be phoning the hospital, like.
Maybe.
5 2s, that do you?
Aye. Thanks.
Lad's sister. Not much hope for him, they tell me. Bad business. They only buried his father t'other week.
Is that latter steel cabinet assembly? Oh, could I speak to the personal manager, please? Thank you. Oh, hello. I'm speaking on behalf of Mr. Skilbeck. Mr. Skilbeck, yes. He had a letter from you a few days ago. He wrote in answer to your advertisement for... What? Mr. Skilbeck. Yes, that's right. Well, it's not convenient for him to go over to Bradford tomorrow because he's had a bereavement, and he wondered if... Yes. Yes, I quite understand that. Yes, I realise that, of course, but... Yes. All right. Thank you, anyway.
Thank you. Afternoon, Amos.
Now then, Mr. Ball, have a drink.
Oh, no, not in uniform. That's a bit cloudy, isn't it?
Clear as crystal, is that?
Oh, it's somewhat different.
That's a reet good glass of ale.
Not spilt any sugar in barrel, have you?
It's not even a new barrel. It's been on since last night. There's naught wrong with that.
That's what your palate says.
Then how come I've had no one else complain?
Could it be something in glass?
No, it could not. I'm very particular about my glasses.
Ah, well, accidents happen.
Not here, they don't. I'm too careful.
Ah, that's what they told Health Inspector down at bakery when they found dead mouse at middle of cottage loaf.
That's first-class bitter. You've nowt to complain of with that.
You're not expecting him to finish it now, are you?
Well, it's up to him. It's his ale.
Tell me, Amos, has Joe Sugden been drinking much in here lately?
Hello, love.
Hello, Daddy.
Damn silly place to come for a meal out, isn't it? Join me.
They wouldn't let me see you last night.
Just as well. I was in no condition for visitors.
How are you now?
Damned uncomfortable. But you can't break your leg in a couple of places and expect to feel like a 2-year-old. The doctors keep shaking their heads, but I think they're going to let me keep it. Now, love, nothing to worry about. How did you manage last night?
It's a bit lonely on your own in a house.
Shut the place up. Move into a hotel until they let me out of here.
I'll get used to it.
But you've got to eat.
I shan't starve. There's always plenty of bread and milk. Besides, someone has to run the place, take phone messages and all that.
Who's going to phone except your boyfriends?
Well, a man called Pargeter phoned this morning. 2 E's and 1 T. He asked to be remembered to you and said he hoped you'd be better soon.
Fargity, what's he want?
Well, he said it was business.
I'll say it was business. He's got wind of me selling up and was checking on the story. Fargity. How's young Sugden?
He hasn't recovered consciousness yet.
It's the young idiot's own fault, but I'm sorry.
It could have happened to anyone on that blind corner.
But I hadn't even reached the corner. I just got to the end of our drive, and he swerves in from the main road like a mad thing. Neither of us stood a chance. He must have been drunk. I reckon that's what the police think.